Didn't think I'd be doing this today. So what's up everyone, welcome back to another card reveal video kind of thing, where today I am talking about a cat thing. God, I'm really leaving last time I wore this. I think it was for some Fire Emblem cosplay. Because there's another faded one I want to talk about. Besides the leopard dress, you should check out the leopard dress video. And that is the faded one of Supremecy. I should probably get to the card before I actually read the card name. There she is. Thank you, Danny, for posting translations today. The Destined one of Supremacy, Liscafael. So why are we talking about this pink girly girl, cat girl today? It just feels, I don't like the aesthetic. I don't like the pink girly girl things. It feels so weird playing this when I play it. Well, it turns out that aside from this aesthetic, she's actually literally perfect. Get some really cool skills we'll talk about right here. According to lore, it's And we can talk about Best Girl. We can talk about Luna. We can talk about Yuna. He already knows Best Girl because she sounds like Luna, and Luna is also Best Girl. The character in the anime that plays this, her entire gimmick, or a good portion of her gimmick, her entire gimmick is simping the Best Girl. So Best Girl simping Best Girl. And the episode was just... But that's just the anime thing. Let's go ahead and talk about what the cards actually do. So to get started, we of course have to look at the starter, who probably doesn't matter, so we're just going to run the leafless starter instead. I guess one thing that we'll note here is that her and all of her little cat girlfriends are apparently starting to rap out with Chris Rain. So I'm going to have to invest in some Cali sleeves for this deck. Grade 1 time. Close Glance Vilea. When ruled upon by the grade 2, you draw a card, choose a card from your hand or rearguard circle, and put it to soul to give your Vanguard plus 5 power. So basically you just have a 15k Vanguard on that turn. You get to draw a card, which cancels out this card for the Rideline. And of course, you build up 1 soul, be it from hand or from field if you rushed early. Soul charging cards, evolving into probably the least jailbait unit we'll talk about today. We have Mature Lures Luticia, there we go. Who pretty simply, when ruled upon by Liscafael, you get to cost Counterblast 1 or Energy Blast 3 to draw 1 card and Soul Charge 1. Again, we have a Soul Charge based effect, which is a reason that we started this video looking at a Dark State card. And she has the same stipulation of the grade 2 cyclers, where you can choose to either Counterblast 1 or Energy Blast 1. So right now we're looking at a lot of drawing a lot of soul based stuff without looking at the Vanguard, which is really interesting because you do not minus by riding this deck. You still have to discard your cards to ride, but you draw a card off every single ride, going from 0 to 1 if you do the second, 1 to 2, and then 2 to 3. Either way, you're going to be getting at minimum 2 of the cards you discarded for your ride line back, which means running any cycler is automatically a plus. Alright, I know what you guys are here for. Let's talk about the pink. I don't like the aesthetic, I'm sorry. Especially now that we know that they're all rapper girls, this doesn't look like white girl rapper to me. Or match any of these effects we're about to talk about. Or her character. Everything about this card does not mean frilly pink girl, cat girl. Whatever, let's start talking about the effects. So the Destined one right here has 2 predestined skills. This first one is her main effect, and that is once per turn when she attacks while not being boosted. Keep this in mind, everyone, for 2 different reasons. Energy Blast 3, put 2 or more of your cards in the soul. During this turn, this unit's gonna get plus 1 drive and then plus 5,000 for every card put into your soul for this cost. So first off, there's 2 different things we can say here. 3 different things? How many things we can say here? So do you guys remember the intro gag that I did about showing off MLB and Rideline specifically? Guess what cards go yum 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 when they attack the Vanguard and get special bonuses? Well, I mean, I guess if we're being real, I should have picked the V1, but we're talking about standard decks. So this is kind of agreed on. You eat your guys and you get some power in a drive check. We'll talk in a second about support cards. They're probably going to do something when they get in because that's what Desire Devils do. I have to play this card. It's Greedon. Hashtag greed for Greedon. You've seen the playlist, so you guys already know what I'm going to say. This is Greedon the Fish. And also MLB, because MLB also does that, at least in V it did. And you'll see it when I talk about it. I'm just going to not spoil it. We'll talk about Divine Skill. Alright, Divine Skill right here. When it attacks, at the end of the battle that this attacks in, you have 6 or more soul. Cost Counterblast 1. Stand this unit. During this turn, it gets Drive Minus 2. And then during the fight against all of your Vanguard with her, Liscafael, get plus 5,000 plus 1 crit permanently. And this is why she's also MLB. We have an 18k defensive Vanguard that permanently has a crit for no reason. This is a deck where you just go Divine right away and you don't even think about it, you just... And all that soul play that we've had so far makes it super easy to get there. If you think about it, your Rideline 0, 1, 2 is already 3 cards. Each of those cards is going to soul charge 1 from this ability, so you realistically only need to eat 1 card to get to that 6 soul. she gets 2 automatically for her skill. So right away you are going to be hitting Divine off the bat. Pray that you go second, and if you go first, I guess we'll figure out first turn play and how to stall for that or whatever. God, why is the pink cat girl literally just 2 decks I play? Just make her a punk thing, or like goth or rapper style, or just like anything that's not pink frilly. It would make so much more sense for her. Alright, let's talk about support cards. So we have a grand total of 4 support cards for this card, including an order, so we'll talk about that first, because it's funny to say order and then order. We have Sweetness Sweets, grade 3 normal order if you have Liscafael in his name. Cost Counterblast 1 to play, energy charge, choose 1 of your Vanguards, and it gets, during that turn, all of your front row get +5. This is really good for its energy charge, because we noticed so far we've had 2 cards that Energy Blast, including one as your once per turn skill. Energy Blast 3 is effectively going to be a net 0 on your energy, because you get 3 energy a turn, so 3 energy, eat that 3 energy, it's free. I do the same thing in Direful Dolls literally all the time, but because that is always nice to have a resource gainer back. This does cost a Counterblast, which sucks, because there's your Divine skill, but I mean, you Divine skill once, so far realistically you're going to be CV 1 per turn and then like 1 extra on the Divine skill. Makes the deck a little resource intensive, but realistically you're already getting energy back from this, so that's good. Plus its actual effect, +5 your front row is pretty good. I mean, Liscafael is going to be at 18k on her own, so that's going to turn it into a 23k with triple drive and a crit essentially, and yeah, your other girls are going to get the buff, which is good because I mean I kind of brush it over when I was just saying this card is Greedon. Greedon's whole gimmick is that you eat cards that haven't attacked yet, so you're able to do cool things with your Vanguard at the cost of not really having rearguard swings. This deck can do it after your attack. It doesn't specify after the rest of your standing, so you can still effectively attack with your rearguards first before your Vanguard. Eating at least 2 means you potentially could be eating your 2 rearguards and just go in 1, 2, 3 Vanguard, then it's fine to restand it for your 4th attack or whatever. So having the ability to boost your cards that are just going to be eaten up later is a good idea to make this attacks actually matter. Going from one grade 3 to another, we have this little devil girl, the charming Percent Ampharos. 2 skills that are kind of the same. First, when this enters a rearguard circle and you have Liscafael, you get to counterblast 1, draw 1 during this turn. This gets +5. So once again, you are counterblasting a lot in this deck. It looks like that's going to be a big resource that we're going to have to deal with. But she becomes 18k, which is going to force out a little bit more shield. And then on top of that, the order we just talked about, we need another 5k. So that's basically 23k right there, which forces a trigger to guard. Then, skill number 2, when this goes to soul by your green. This is the Greedon support card. This is the Desire Devil. It makes sense that she's a devil now, that she's a Desire Devil. Alright, so when she gets Nom Nom from the rearguard by ability of your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Liscifael name, choose 1 of your Vanguards and it gets +5. Yeah, this is straight up a Greedon card. This is straight up, I think it was Yabai was the set 1 card that did for free. This is Yaiba. I mean, not much to say there. It's just a power gain card, but I mean, sometimes all you really need is the power gain, especially on turns that you restand. Unfortunately, you only restand once, but shut up, I'm just gonna keep on referencing that. Moving from the 3 to the 1, we're gonna get to Sway on the Swings with Taliel, who's a little, looks like a dragon girl. Dragonroid, maybe? I don't see races on these without Moon speaking, so I'm just gonna say Dragonroid, because it looks like a dragon. This is gonna be the Liscifael specific booster. We've been seeing these a lot recently, starting with the set 2 Divine units, and does set 1 have them? I don't know, I didn't really pay attention to any of the set 1 Divine cards, but they probably do. And basically the way that these work is if you have the specific Divine or Destined unit in this case, then they're going to be able to boost for 5, make him a 13k booster, and they have some other ability, or maybe more. Leo's definitely has 2. In this case, when this is put into Soul from Rearguard by ability of your grade 3, you get to draw 1, and if you have not countercharged this turn, countercharge 1. This is really good. This is another Greedon card. I'm realizing now that MLB sucking up units is also basically Greedon. I've been playing Greedon since V format, but being able to countercharge 1 is fantastic. As you see, we do have quite a bit of counterblast in this deck, and her drawing a card mid-battle phase is going to help replace the fact that you have to field a unit, which is always nice. Very good. The only thing I can say about this is that she will not be boosting Vanguard, because as you remember, Liscifael says when not boosted, it's important you do not boost his Vanguard. Always remember that. But it's going to be a little hard to forget that when you're just sucking up units anyway, so just put one of the things you're going to suck up behind her. There you go. You don't forget. Now for the final card, we're going to move from 3 - 1 equals 2, and that's the time I'm going to tell you to subscribe, because that's the closest I'm going to get to rhyming in this entire video. Brilliant Restage. You know, this is our reason that the deck becomes playable, because continuous, if you have a grade 3 or greater Liscafael, it's going to get +5, which is nice because then you have a 15-20k attacker for free. But the more important part is this auto once per turn ability. Can I do that? I'm gonna move the screen this time. I'm not gonna move myself. Look at all that dead space down there. Now look at it not be so dead, as I just subconsciously advertised my TCG player. Once per turn, when you're grade 3 or greater with Liscafael and its name attacks and there's no other hers in the front row, kind of last one, stand this unit, and if your opponent is grade 3 or greater, this is going to get plus 10 power. This is our restander. I really do like the cost on this thing, the fact that it's not the fact that it's once per turn so that you can't just spam it on off your restand divine skill turn. Also the restriction that it also only attack with one of these. So even if you have another one in the front row and your attack pattern made it so you haven't really attacked with the other one yet, you can only restand one of these cat girls once per turn. This is good. I mean, it's gonna suck for the player, but this is fair. Because at max, you're looking at 5 attacks in a turn, counting the divine skills. So you go rearguard, divine, restand her, vanguard, her. Which means you can max out 5 attacks on your divine in turn, otherwise you're looking at 4, which is pretty standard for a restand deck. I also get some power gains and stuff. Can I take off the cat head yet? It's really hot this summer. I don't know why I'm recording with probably a winter hat. Oh, so much better. So that is Liscifael, or Liscifael. Whatever, however you pronounce her name. She has an angel name too, with the whole eel thing. Literally nothing about this screams pink girly frilly girl to me. You got Fusion of the Knight of Chaos and the hashtag read if you read on, who could give you a 4-attack turn with some pretty decent power at the cost of a lot of counter blasts apparently. So make sure that you are attacking all those counter charges that you can find. So what do you guys think? Is this the coolest Destined one that we've seen so far? Or do you prefer Levi-Dras or one of the other guys I haven't talked about? Should I talk about those other guys in a future video? Make sure you comment down below because I probably will do a set review at some point. And do you think that any part of this aesthetic works with pink frilly girly girl that none of it to me screams Darkseid, MLB, rapper, even, you know, the characters like kind of a goth kinky cat girl thing? And why is everyone insists it's Dragon Kobler for its restand? It only restands once, and like the way that it functions by eating cards and gaining the skills also is very Greedon-esque. Answer all those questions down below, and while you're down there, make sure to hit that little subscribe button. It'd be super helpful. We're already starting to get super close to 250s. Thank you all for subscribing and supporting me over all this time. Of course, if you want a more financial way of doing that, make sure to check out my page on TCG Players so I can afford to get cool stuff to show off. Right now, I'm working on a weekly Shadowverse series for the new Glory Finder bundle. And of course, you know we're doing some set 4 openings when this set comes out because I am interested in this girl and Levi-Dras. But until next time, thank you all for watching. Why, oh why is she a pink cat girl? And always, embrace the infinite. I mean, I'm cool with it being a cat girl or whatever, but it's just what I mean. You already know I'm a dog person. Look at her. She wake it up. It's still early. Let her sleep.